Trust yourself, you to get through. Now you're on the other side, living life again. It was a wild ride out of the rain into the sun. Look, you've won.
Hello, everyone. Hello. And it is Tuesday, March 11th. Very excited to be here today. Hope everyone's having a good start to the week. I have been outside a little bit today. I had a lot of errands, being typical for me. I went to my first appointment this morning without my wallet, so I could not pay. And that was kind of a pickle, but I got to drive my car, which I finally ransomed out of my mechanics. So that was good news. And then I got to take the pups for a walk. And I can't tell you how excited these little chuckleheads were to be outside, smelling the ground instead of smelling the ice. Those of you that have dogs that take them for walks, they love to smell everything. And through the ice, they really were struggling. And today, our walk took even longer because Luca and Biscotti just needed to smell every tree, every branch, every rock, everything. And then they also got to see some of their friends in the dog park. So they were very happy. I was blessed to get a Reiki treatment from Laura B today, and I should have had her channel up. Give me oh no, she doesn't have a channel. She has a website. So let me, I have to think about how to do this. Hold, please, because I really want you guys, if you haven't been there, I'd like you to at least have the opportunity to check her out. All right, let me go back. Let me go here. Let me pop her in here. That is her website. I found her through Josh at Mr. Floyd's Universe. And, you know, I'm one of these people, in general, I'm a pretty open human being. But when we start talking about our chakras and we talk about potentially journaling and potentially, you know, working on ourselves, the challenge that I have personally is that when I get blocked, I don't know how to unblock. I can help you unblock. I can help you release the stress in your body. But as whether you call us empaths, light workers, intuits, whatever you want to call us, sensitives. I'm very sensitive. I'm a very emotional girl. And I feel things. And so for me to be either matter of fact or a little discerning to say, you know, chill out, breathe, practice what you preach. You know, you can figure these things out. Hey, Brace, so nice to see you. Thank you for being here. I was just saying that it's a beautiful day today and I got to be outside. I think the temperature is in the 50s, which for us is a heat wave. And I'm sure you would probably say that being from where you are. Oh no, we're 60 degrees. Heat wave. So the screen looks a little different. I changed the mirror image so that you would be able to see what I'm writing when the time comes. So I don't know if it's going to be dark enough, but you'll be able to listen to me. So I didn't realize I bounced my head back and forth. But it's, you know, as this channel, my purpose, my awakening, my awareness of self, really what I try to do, right, is how can I be a better person? How can I be a more thoughtful person? And I'm sorry, Brace. What's your temperature, my friend? And I don't mean to rub it in. And by the way, it's the best day of the week. And I think from here, we drop back down. Well, again, for you, it's considered a heat wave. We're in the 40s, the high 40s. So, yes, I'm very sorry. But I got to tell you, this winter, I'm sorry, guys, I'm ADD squirrel girl. So I'm going to stop a second, let some people catch up, and I'll talk about the weather. But New England has gone from a very snowy, brisk, chilly environment to some snow, lots of ice and rain, and bitter cold. Not only did I have to ransom my car out from the garage, and I was very fortunate to have my loved one help me out with it. And for those of you that don't have, somebody you can tap into, holy crap. Oh, it's -5. Oh, it is sweater weather. I love sweater weather. But I also had to finagle some extra cash for heat, for oil, because it's so expensive. Now, I don't know what the rest of the country is, and I don't want to pretend that my price is more. But like so many of you, I'm on a fixed income. And so when they say, for 100 gallons of oil, you need to pay $400, you're like, I did not budget for $400. So I managed and I got it done. And hopefully it's March, right? And it's not mid-March. Next week is mid-March. So my hope, my prayers, my wish when we hit the date of spring is that we start to see more relaxed temperatures so that I'm not freezing my tush off all the time and I don't have to turn the heat up so high. And I usually only keep the heat during the day on at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Because I have blankets. I have blankets everywhere. You see them here. I've got them in my lap. So I keep myself warm. But I got to tell you, you're in a pickle when you are trying your best to navigate New England weather. And I didn't budget properly. So lesson learned. I'll have to do that differently for next year. But let's get back on track. This is sort of an interactive live today, because one of the things that I've heard from many of you is that journaling is not so easy. So I had a couple of tips and tricks that I was going to share, not just for journaling, but for anybody who wants to write their thoughts, or they like to do poetry, or they like to start stories, whether they're your story about your life, which doesn't have to be a journal, or it's a novel, fiction, romance. This is an opportunity to just give some tips and tricks. Now, most of what I'm gleaning for today comes from a class I took many years ago by a writer, Natalie Goldberg. So I'm giving her credit. And it was called Writing Down to the Bones. And it really helps to lay out some ideas when you're stuck. So the way that I want to do it today, and I think I have a little, not a screen share. Do I have a presentation? Hold. Oops, I just went past it. Nope, that's not the one. All right, let's remove that. Let me come back here. I know I saved it. I just don't know where I saved it, guys. So just give me a second. Is it the gratitude journal? No. So I had help from a friend of mine. Where did I put? Maybe I made it an image. Oh, fudge sickle. It's here. Just bear with me. And since it's you and me, Braze, I'm not too worried. But did I put it in video storage? No. All right. I had a picture. And I just want to see. where I would have put it. So I'm going to go. Don't you worry. I got this down pat. Let's close this. And I'm going to go over here and pull it up out of Facebook Messenger. That's where it was sent to. So I have been technically challenged with getting to know Canva. And so my dear friend Jimena helped me. And I swore I downloaded this. And I swore that I, put it someplace so that I could share it with you easily. So let's go here. Oops. Go back. I am wasting a lot of time and I'm sorry about that. So did I download? So save image as. Okay. Yes. And open. And then I'm going to save it to Canva. All right. Now we're going to go back and see if I can find it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And if I can't, we're going to ignore it. So let's go to here and here and open. Yay! All right. So this screen shows you how I go about doing it. I have a column for adjectives or verbs, whatever works for you, and nouns, right? So I would challenge everybody to write down, let's just say five adjectives. It could be happy, sad, it could be beautiful, sunny, cold, chilly, brisk. It could be tall, short, fat, skinny, gloomy, whatever. Write those adjectives down on a piece of paper on one half. All right, so just 5. It's pretty straightforward. I wrote a whole bunch for myself in preparation for today because I wanted to be able to share with you guys my process when I get stuck and I can't find words or I can't, I don't know what to say. And then do the same thing with nouns. It can be cat, dog, mom, dad, friend, sister, lover, house, freedom, home, walk, run. So that's what I would say. Choose 5 of those. All right. And then, hey, Ben, thanks for being here. We're talking about journaling. And these are some of my tips and tricks that I use for inspiring people or myself when I feel stuck and I don't know where to go for journaling. So we have a piece of paper. We're folding it in half. Write 5 adjectives and 5 nouns. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about, Natalie Goldberg. She is, for me, she was a great teacher of how to just write, just start. And her recommendation was setting a timer for 10 to 15 minutes and just move your pen. And you could just say, I have no idea what I want to say today. This is really obnoxious. I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, by the way, I had a conversation with my dad and I really was blah, blah, blah. And then I talked to my brother and blah, blah, blah. And then I talked to my sister and then I talked to my aunt. And before you know it, stuff starts to come out of you. And one of the things that she advocates, which I also agree on, is to write honestly. So use it to explore either your experience of the day or yesterday or whatever, even if it's messy. And if you're really stuck and you have a pet, talk about your pet, describe your pet. So we're using these adjectives and the nouns to generate thoughts and actions so that when you go to write, the way that you can start is by using something like, I remember. right? So for me, I can say, I remember on a beautiful day when I was starting to take a walk with my dogs because the temperature was so beautiful today, and then run off with your thoughts. And don't censor, don't worry about spelling, don't worry about grammar. It's not about that. It's about getting the thoughts and the words out. The other thing that I would say for those of you even on the replay, please try this. I really want to hear in the comments if anyone's done this, because one of the things that you can do is not just describe describe a memory, describe your favorite childhood memory. This helps you to journal. So, what I have done in the past is I will start with one of my adjectives and then talk about, then, bring all this stuff together to sort of trigger something that's been on my mind. So, I'm going to make this up. This is anyone that sees themselves reflected in this conversation, please, it's not. I'm doing this off the cuff and I'm sort of making some stuff up. So it's a beautiful, sunny, 60-degree day, and I have been contemplating the future of my home. Where do I go? Where do I move to? Do I stay near my friends or do I move? How do I feel about moving? It sucks. I hate packing. I hate having to get rid of even more stuff. And now, as I'm writing, all of a sudden I'm talking about, well, I've already died. Did any of that shit come with me? No. So, what's important about things? And then I go off on a tangent and I talk about the things. Is this making sense for the couple of you that are in the chat right now or on live? Just, you can give me a thumbs up. You can say yes. You can say no. And other things that you could do to trigger is using things like I remember. I remember sitting at my grandmother's feet with my favorite dog, Susie, when I was growing up, and my Nana petting me and petting her. And tell that story. Because if what you're hoping to do is to unlock something in yourself, that can trigger. I hate using the word trigger because now it's such a misused word, but it can, put a reminder in your brain. Oh, that reminds me of the time I was in the swimming pool and all the boys in my family thought it'd be funny to hold me underwater until I choked. True story, by the way. And they did think it was funny, and I've been traumatized and don't swim. So their joke wasn't a joke to me. That's a memory that came back when I was trying to figure out, why am I so afraid of water? Yet when I meditate, as Jimena was talking about today on her channel or yesterday, spirit animals, I relate to dolphins and can see myself in the water, swimming, not having to worry about breathing because I'm a dolphin. So the trauma of me actually being in the water was something that I hadn't remembered. Thanks, Brace, for jumping in. And so, part of our growth, part of our spiritual awakening, if that's the path you're on, and that's what I talk about here, I know I can't always live in love and light. And not every situation is meant to be lived in love and light. We're entitled to be angry or pissed or disappointed or hurt or wounded. And I'm going to talk about this. Today's Tuesday, so I'll probably talk about it on Thursday. It's related to grief. We talk about not just people that have passed, but people that are in the process of passing. And the grief is a reminder that we loved, that we hated, that we were hurt by whomever it is that may be passing. Not everything's all about, oh, I love you and I'm so sorry to see you go. It also doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, let me help you on their way, right? It's it's we we hold stuff in us. And that's one of the beautiful things today. And I did put the link in the channel here, um, that I went and I had a session with Laura B, and I was very blocked, and I couldn't understand. I work on myself a lot. I breathe. I do a lot of exercises, right? I meditate in different forums with different people, with different teachers, and everybody is a teacher. And so by doing that, why am I still blocked? And as you go through your chakras, and we will talk about this more, um, I we hold things in different energy centers in our body. So if you don't like the word chakra, there are different energy centers in our bodies. There's different meridians. There are different areas in our body that hold different things. Everything is interconnected. So we talk about the divine oneness, which was our first law of the universe. We talk about our vibration, how everything is connected, and our thoughts and our words impact that. And the law of correspondence, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. Everything is interconnected. Everything has energy. Everything has a pace. Everything has a memory. And the one thing we all have in common, well, there's two things. We all are born. We may be vaginal. We may be C-section, but we're born. And then we all die. Those are our commonalities. Take away everything else. And Brazy, she was very affordable. So it was only 30 minutes. I put her link in the chat. So please go look at her website. She's very transparent. And I will say, for me, it was worth it. Oh, thank you. Hi, Jimena. Thank you so much. I pulled my hair back because I didn't have time to wash it today. I know I told you yesterday I was going to wash it, but the day got away from me. And so thank you. I appreciate that. And so, the challenges that each of us face when we walk through this life, from the day that we're born, we have experiences. I believe from the day we are born, the world unknowingly or unwittingly, unintentionally takes us away from our angelic higher self knowing. It's funny. I watch a channel and one of the couples just had a baby and the baby was crying. And I thought to myself, it was kind of me tapping into my inner child, which was, this child was cocooned and protected and safe, and comes out into this world and is like, what the freak am I doing here? And you're crying because you don't have words yet. And I was talking to the computer as if I was there going, oh, baby, don't cry. You're in love. You've got love. You've got angels. You've got all these good things around you. You're going to have a good mommy and daddy. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to a freaking computer and I'm talking to the baby. Guess what? Energetically, I was connected to that little peanut. So the concepts of tapping into those wounds that we may have experienced, or just experiences as a child, as a toddler, we remember things. And then we become more aware of our surroundings and we learn how to manipulate certain situations, right? Well, if I'm really nice to dad, I might get an ice cream. if I'm good with mom in the grocery store and we're walking up and down the aisles and I'm like, Mom, can I have a candy? If I ask her nice, she says yes. If I just take it and put it in the cart, she's like, no. These are all things that journaling can help you with and help you understand where you came from and who are the people in your life and how do they impact you. And I challenge myself. So this is about me. I don't want to, again, as I said earlier, if you see yourself reflected in any of my words, this isn't something that you shared with me. I don't know why my screen's timing out. So I would say use this example of creating 5 adjectives and 5 nouns. And you could do 10 and 10. It's really just to trigger you to get started. I remember my first kiss. Oh my God, this is what happened. And these are the experiences that happened to me as a result of that afterwards. And these are the boys that I was introduced to. And these are the girls in school that were catty or friends and this is how I developed insecurities about whatever, right? Um, this is journaling is a great opportunity for us to tap into our own growth. And in the description of my channel today for today's topic, Christy from Conversations with Christy, she created this beautiful journal. And I tried to print it for today, but you're really not going to be able to see it well. So I actually think, I don't think I can tap into it, my description without, I don't know if I can do that. I'm not going to do it because I don't know if I tap into the description here now, if it will kick me out or whatever. But if you guys go to the description, you'll see that I put a link to the journal. It's free. Download it. It's fairly large, so download 5 pages at a time because you don't need all of it right away. And she gives you some tips and tricks. So, and she gives, some prompts. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Is to give you a prompt for you to tap into yourself, to tap into your hurts. So when we talk on Thursday about grief and the experiences of mourning someone that's still alive, mourning that I don't get to heal a relationship because not of me, but the other person's journey, it isn't about that, right? So each of us comes into this life prepared with their own set of tools, experiences, ideas of what is right and wrong, of how to communicate, of introspection. And one of the things that Jimena has talked about on her channel is narcissism. So how somebody, and I don't even want to say just narcissist, people that are self-centered, it doesn't make them narcissists. They're just self-centered, some people, and that the world revolves around them and their idea of what's important. And again, in some cases, when people are self-centered, it's because they weren't important or recognized. If you grew up in a family of 19 kids, odds are you probably didn't get the attention that you really felt like you deserved, right? If you grew up in a family of 1, so in my mom's case, she had 2 older siblings, but there was a 10-year gap between my mom and her sister, and then I think 2 more years for a brother that didn't exist after that. But 10 years between her and her sister. So my mom was an only child, right? As she was growing up. She may have gotten attention, but it wasn't the attention she needed or required because her parents were older. And so they were super controlling, might be the wrong word, but I can't think of one right now. But, she had no freedom. She had no sense to express herself. And they created a fearful child, not a brave child. So as we start to dig into, well, how does that translate? So for me, how did some of my experiences translate into the relationship with this person that is getting ready to transition to another realm? And I say transition to a realm because I don't believe when we die, we just die. I don't. I believe our consciousness is aware. I believe that our consciousness goes somewhere else. And whether we want to call it aliens, heaven, angelic, reincarnation, don't really, I don't really restrict my thoughts that way. I believe that my brain will continue. And maybe I feel that way because of, dying for 14 minutes. Now, people were resuscitating me. So it wasn't like I was absolutely, nobody was trying to bring me back, but my consciousness went somewhere else when I died. Hey, Millie, thanks for dropping in. Check the replay if you're interested in this journaling topic. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And so I'm here, and I believe that I was brought back because I have something to offer. Whether that jams or jives with what you guys all want to watch or see, I can't control that. And that's the other thing journaling helps you to realize. You can't control other things. You can't control other people. And maybe by your actions, you can demonstrate how you want to be treated, how you deserve to be treated. I would challenge you that it's introspection. So I personally, what is the impetus for me when I say I didn't get what I needed? Why didn't this person treat me this way? Why was I treated that way? It's an acknowledgement and a learning. I learn, well, everybody relates in the way that they have been raised to relate. We talk about cults, we talk about religious organizations, whether it's Catholicism, Judaism, Hinduism, Jehovah Witnesses, I'm trying to, Mormons, tribal organizations. When you grow up, you are born, not chosen to participate in. That's different. When you're born, you are already assigned behaviors that exist within that community. No different than a family. When you're in a family, you may be raised to say please and thank you. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Now, some of that doesn't apply anymore because there's a whole they, them, they, other world. But for now, for this discussion and for my senior evolution, you're raised with certain etiquette. Well, the family next to you may be burping and farting at the table and scratching their tush, and, there's no decorum. That's how they were raised. Does that make that better or worse? But you're raised in it. So those are your traits until you, the individual, try. Ooh, 111 subs. That's magical. See, I got squirreled. Thank you, Jimena. Oh, that is beautiful. We're going to be grateful. So jumping back, when we want to evolve ourselves, when we want to make changes, because don't forget, in this law of the universe, these 12 laws of the universe, we are trying to connect and everything is connected. And if we're trying to evolve to be a better version of our current self, it's going to take introspection, and journaling can help you with that. Journaling can help you remember. It can help you comfort yourself. Because look, at the end of the day, I just had this conversation. And this isn't a pity party, okay? And if there's family watching, this isn't a reflection of my family. This is a reality. I'm single. I don't have a partner. And so one of my brothers has a whole family. He's got 3 kids. One already has kids. Two of his other 2 kids are pregnant. They're all going to be having babies this year. He's got a family. There's my dad and his wife, and then my other brother and his partner. And then there's extended. I have a large extended family, but they're not physically near me. So where do I fit in that? I don't. I don't. And so when I participate in someone else's realm, for lack of a better word, I've been resentful that I have to sort of swallow things that don't agree with me, that don't feel right to me, that make me feel less. Guess what? They're not making me feel less. I am. I am. I have to own it, right? We have to own our responses. We have to own how we're feeling. If we say, oh, Matilda made me feel really bad. Why did Matilda make you feel bad? What was it that she made you feel bad about? Your hair, your makeup, your outfit? She didn't make you feel bad. You feel uncomfortable because if you loved your outfit, she can't make you feel bad. It's not about Matilda. It's how you receive the information. Where's the sense of self-worth? Journaling can help you with your self-worth, right? All of this that I'm talking about guides us and leads us into this evolution of self-worth. And so that's what I want to challenge you guys with today is to tap into how do I talk about those things that are bothering me. And if I don't have the words, here's an idea. And if you use these 5 adjectives, 10 adjectives, 15 adjectives, and your nouns, be honest with yourself and write without fear or holding back. Write without worrying about grammar, punctuation, just write. Follow the line of thought. So the way the sunlight looks on the floor glistened and made me feel comforted. The warmth from the sun on the chair in my living room made me feel happy. Follow the thought. Don't censor yourself. This isn't for anybody else, right? Our journals aren't for someone else. Another way of getting started with journaling, if you're not ready to dig deep, and that's okay, write about food. Write about your pet. I can talk about these 2 chuckleheads all day long. Luca and Biscotti, my dogs, are the funniest things this side of the Mississippi. My kitty cat, Marley, is probably the daintiest cat and yet mischievous. That's the word I was looking for. I'm not allowed to close doors in my house. So for those of you that have pets, if you close your bathroom door, you're going to have an animal on the other side, either meowing in terrible pain and abandonment, or you're going to have a dog going, I can't believe you left me out here all by myself. So there's not a lot of privacy. I can start writing that, and believe it or not, it then morphs into another memory, another something that I need to get out. And then you could also, I know, some of this is simple, right? The whole object is to just get you journaling so that you can tap into your innermost thoughts. I have only remembered 2 dreams in my life, and they're recurring dreams, and they rarely happen, but when they do, I don't need to write these dreams down. I can regurgitate them, and I would never repeat them. And I wonder sometimes if they are warnings or either past memories or something that's going to happen in the future. But if you're a dreamer, you could say something like, well, I'll share this. This is very personal. But after my mom died, I was disappointed that, yes, you can't wear socks in the house because of the pepper in. I know, right? It's the, again, I'm ADD girl here, squirrel girl. Biscotti loves to grab my slippers and just run. He doesn't want to eat them. He just thinks I'm taking mommy's shoe, and he will run around the dining room table and think it's the funniest thing. And I almost can hear him like a child running around thinking he's something special. And he is. And it makes me laugh. But so when my mom died, I was a little bit disappointed and bitter. Everyone said she'll come to me, she'll tap onto my shoulder. Hey, Indigo. Oh, thanks for popping in. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen. And the first year went by, and I didn't feel her, and I didn't sense her. And I'm going to preface this by saying, before she died and then after she died, I had asked God, I said, take her. I release her. I give her to you. I didn't want her to be trapped because of my grief. And I didn't want her to feel like she had to stick around. So partly I was like, okay, love you. I'm sending you up to the big guy or wherever else you're going to go. And then I was like, bitch, you're not here. Why aren't you talking to me? You see, I'm weeping and I'm crying and I'm missing you. And why aren't you here? And what happened was, I'd say 2 years ago now. 2 years? How long has she been gone? Wow. So my mom's been gone 8 years. So it had to have been before my heart attack, just before my heart attack. Mom and I are on the escalator. And we weren't talking, but there was such joy. I can't even describe it. And we are going up this escalator and it's coming to the landing. And I get off, and she kept going. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. Goodbye. I can't believe you're leaving me. And it was like her saying, I'm going now. You're good. You don't need me. Those are the things that, if you can tap into some of these emotions, they help release what you're holding. It releases your throat chakra, your heart chakra, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root, your third eye, your crown. I mean, you can open up and allow the light to come in and to heal you. So what's Indigo saying? Hang on, Indigo. I'm gonna highlight you, and I'm also gonna put my glasses on so I can read it. So hold on, please. I can relate to that. I told my birth mom when she was passing that it was okay to go to Dad because her babies were safe and had each other. It was the hardest goodbye I ever said. That's beautiful, and yes, it's true, right? Saying goodbye, and that's what I'm going to talk about on Thursday. With grief is. Sometimes saying goodbye is more for you than for them. Now, the grief I'm going to talk about on Thursday is when someone's still here and you have unresolved issues. You need to be okay with how you feel, right? It's about you. It's about, how am I not guilty? I don't want to carry anything with me. Have I resolved what I need to resolve? Now, I'm going to go back to Ho'oponopono when we talked about thank you. Thank you for the lessons that you taught me. I'm sorry for any of the things that I didn't measure up to for you. Please forgive me that I may not have been what you had hoped for in your life. And I love you for the lessons that you bestowed upon me, for the affection, whatever it is. Using the Ho'oponopono has kept me sane in the last couple of weeks. I have a great teacher, Anne Marie, and I need to get her permission. I'd like to share her information with everybody, but go ahead, Jimena. Love you. I lost my train of thought. Oh, Anne-Marie had taught me and introduced me to the concept of Ho'oponopono. It wasn't something that I was familiar with. And so when she taught it and introduced me to the topic, and I got myself a um, what do you call those placards? Well, a placard that had the thank you, please forgive, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. So that it was not embossed. Shoot, what's the word? Well, whatever. You guys know what I mean. So I I got it and I kept it on my refrigerator because it was a reminder of I have to say that to myself. I love you. I love you, Teresa. Because at the end of the day, I am the only person that really matters to me. I was born alone. I'm going to die alone. I need to feel the love alone so that I can then love you, love the world, love others. We all struggle. Well, again, I'm sorry, I'm projecting. I struggle with boundaries of love. When I was younger, there were no boundaries. I loved everyone. I trusted everyone. I embraced everyone. And then life lessons came along, and those things slowly, like the castle, I had the moat, and around the moat, I then had another brick wall, and then I had another moat and another brick wall. And then, my heart, I basically brick walled myself into the castle. So it's journaling is just a great way to tap into those things. It's also a great way to write songs, right? It's a great way to write poems and so poetry, and it's a great way to tap into creations, being creative. You could create. You could be a novelist. You could be a documentarian. You could be a biographer. It's a way to just channel you to tap into words that, if I said to you right now with no guidance of using adjectives, you'd be like, today is Tuesday. I don't know what to say. And there's nothing wrong with starting your sentences that way, by the way. This is to just inspire you to tap into your story. Maybe today you're unhappy or you're sad or you're depressed. I am so depressed that I don't get to say goodbye in the way that I want to say goodbye. And I'm pissed at blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And before you know it, now you're getting all of that out. You're regurgitating all that information. And then you come into the light. But I am so appreciative of the lessons that I learned and the experiences that I had. And again, more. So there's no rhyme or reasons. These are just different techniques that I recommend. And please go into the description of this video, because Chrissy did put together a beautiful free gratitude journal. Gratitude journal. It is a gratitude journal. And with lots of little tips and tricks. It's beautiful. It inspires you. It's free. She wants you to share it with people. And I only printed the first couple of pages so I can get started, but it's a great opportunity for you to get started if this doesn't resonate with you. Remember that there are no rules. I might say to you, describe a tree. Well, if you're in Hawaii, you may be writing about a different kind of a tree. If you're in New England or maybe Canada, you're talking about a different kind of tree. If you're in California or Texas or wherever the heck you are, your description of a tree is not going to match my description of a tree, right? So don't let anything limit you when you do this. I hope this is making sense. I hope that it's bringing some value and some ideas to you as you start journaling. And, I just want to appreciate that 111 subs. That's really pretty fantastic. It's a great number for today. And I appreciate those of you that did join today. And for those of you that are on the replay, please put in the comments whether or not you do journal. Do you struggle with journaling? And was this helpful? Obviously, I want to create content that I think is helpful. This is stuff I use. So for me, it is helpful. So it's not a waste of time for me. But I really wanted to share this with you guys and hope that it encouraged you. Thanks, Braze. I so appreciate it. And oh, look who's here. Better late than never, Victor. Yes. And I kind of feel like I want to summarize what I just said, Victor, but we're pretty much done for the day. But I was just, really quickly, what you're seeing on the screen along with me is some ideas for how to get started with journaling and some of the hesitation or blocks people might have. And so writing a list on one side of a piece of paper of 5 or 10 adjectives and on the other side nouns, and then starting the sentence with I remember, or today was, or I enjoy, or whatever it is. Well, hello, Josh. And you're driving home from work, so be really careful, please. I'm glad you're listening. But as Brazy and Millie and Jimena have gone through with me, journaling is one of these things that there's no prescription and there's no right or wrong way. So in using this method, which I got from Natalie Goldberg, who wrote Writing Down to the Bones, it gives you different techniques and different ways to capture thoughts, because sometimes in order to get to the deep stuff, you have to start someplace. And oftentimes when we journal, starting is the most difficult part. And that's what I think we're triggered by. So these are just a couple of techniques. And then within the description, I have a link to Conversations with Christy. Christy put a free gratitude journal in there for you to download and share with whomever. And it's very beautiful. It's a great way also to start. And it's a little bit different. It's a gratitude journal. For me, it's not always about gratitude. Sometimes it's about just expression of self and to dig deeper and to find what it is within myself that is preventing me from awakening into the true self. And I'm already on the journey and I already feel very confident. But these are things that have helped me in the past tap into areas that sometimes are difficult. And so on Thursday, part of what journaling has done for me is to tap into this grief that I'm experiencing, that, while someone's still alive, and how do you say goodbye? How do you support yourself? And journaling, whether it's considered a grief journal or just an entry or an awareness of we do come into this world alone and we leave alone. And oftentimes there's this disconnection of, well, what do I do in the middle? And how did I get here? And who made me? And what do I choose? I choose. Each of us chooses our responses. Each of us chooses the actions that we take. And so with that, I thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Again, in the comments, if you wouldn't mind afterwards answering, did you find this helpful today? Do you journal? And, what I demonstrated today, was that something that was helpful to you, to guide you? And then Thursday, it'll be a little bit heavy, but not really. It's really more an awareness and a support for those of us that are going through loss, and those of us that have lost. And that's just a fact. If we love someone or anyone's in our life, we're going to lose them one way or another. I'm just talking about death rather than divorce or, people no longer fitting in the life. That'll be something else. But for today or for Thursday, it's really how do you make how do you prepare yourself for the actual loss, and what do you do in the interim? So, with that, may you all find blessings of love and light, healing and compassion, sprinkle with a little joy, a little giggle, and a little laughter. And with that, I send you off into the world. Bye, guys.